Hey everyone, it's Tiffany Shree, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my first introduction to autoimmune. Hey everyone, it's Tiffany Shree, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the meals that I ate when I first was starting autoimmune paleo. A lot of it is actually pretty much the same or similar, but I know that a few of you asked on some previous Hashimoto's videos if I could if I could tell you all about what kind of meals I ate when I first started meal prepping plus going AIP. So I'm going to link everything I can down below, but there's a lot of good infographics and pictures online that were really handy whenever I was doing grocery shopping or trying to come up with meals. And they tell you what you can and can't eat on AIP. Now I will say there are a few websites that are in disagreements. For example, some places say that you are not supposed to eat seaweed and other places say that you can. I was at one point having seaweed as a snack, but then when I read that it wasn't good, I wanted to try out cutting it out, and I have yet to reintroduce seaweed. I will also say that it was a lot easier for me, I think, to transition into AIP because I knew that I was allergic to milk and wheat, and I've known my whole life I've been allergic to mushrooms. Before I moved back from Australia, I found out I was allergic to milk and wheat, but I had never 100% cut it out. So I will say that on AIP, I really hope that you like meat. This is definitely not for vegans. When I first started AIP, I cut out eggs, and then after 6 or 8 weeks, I reintroduced eggs and found that they made me feel really nauseous and gross and sick. So I'm like, okay, I know that that's something that I'm not going to let myself slip up on. Same thing with corn. When I reintroduced corn, I realized that it didn't make me feel that bad, but every time you reintroduce something or you eat or digest something that either triggers that inflammation or triggers your thyroid to not perform or function or process as well as it should, you're kind of starting back at ground zero. I also recently read an article that directly linked chronic inflammation or the symptoms of inflammation to reducing dopamine levels in the brain. Quote, "If our theory is correct, then it could have a tremendous impact on treating cases of depression and other behavioral disorders that may be driven by inflammation. It would open up opportunities for the development of therapies that target energy utilization by immune cells, which would be something completely new in our field." On the AIP no foods, I think that you really need to get familiar with what is a nightshade and what isn't a nightshade. And again, as I said, this isn't for vegans because you're only able to get your protein from meat. No alcohol, no eggs, no coffee, no grains, no grain-like seeds where it has the same kind of protein makeup as other grains, or you might process it the same way as a wheat. No dairy, no legumes, no processed vegetable oil, no processed food chemicals or ingredients, no problematic sugars or sweeteners, no sugar substitutes, no nuts and seeds, no nightshades and spices derived from nightshades, and no spices derived from seeds. So on the AIP yes list, you can have organ meat, meat and poultry, fish, shellfish, sea vegetables, leafy greens. Now I will say that with the leafy greens and cruciferous vegetables, I personally find it better for digestion and inflammation and everything else that goes along with the negative symptoms we might have with Hashimoto's or hypothyroidism, is to eat greens cooked. I really love having cooked greens. Cooked cabbage is a huge favorite of mine, and baked or cooked veggies as opposed to having vegetables or greens raw. So when I first started autoimmune paleo and meal prepping, Quint and I had pretty much first started dating, and I had never meal prepped before, and he was not used to eating autoimmune paleo, so we kind of took this on together. We pretty much got it down pat now, but in the beginning I would really just focus on doing it for you. So if you're in a family or you're doing something with someone else and they're not doing AIP, I would recommend maybe just sticking to AIP yourself, meal prep for yourself, and then try to combine it with other people, if you're in a family or a relationship, just because you don't want to be tempted or eat something accidentally. For example, in the beginning, I didn't realize that white potatoes were a nightshade. So when we would grocery shop together and he would get potato chips, I would be like, well, I can just get the same thing. And then I realized that white potatoes are a nightshade and I'm supposed to have sweet potatoes. So another factor about when I first started was that I'm not a good cook. I'm not creative in the kitchen. The things that I know how to cook, like empanadas, are definitely not on the AIP list. So I will say that even though I'd love to start studying to be a nutritionist, and hopefully might soon, I'm not a nutritionist, and I would really recommend consulting your doctor or your endocrinologist or whoever before you start doing this, because you want to make sure that this is right for you. I'm just going to be giving you what I did and my recommendation. I mentioned in my how I lost weight video that my personal trainer we were seeing at the time recommended we use the hand method. So like if I was going to have an avocado slice, it was the size of my thumb. If I was going to have protein, he told me to have protein every 3 hours. It was going to be the size of my palm. And I was eating every 3 hours, but with my medicine, I wake up and I have to wait an hour before I eat anything. Your breakfasts are going to become a lot more vegetable and meat heavy. I was so used to having either no breakfast or like fruit for breakfast. So I'm going to put some recipes down below as well. There's a really good sweet potato and turkey hash, which is kind of what I was having for my lunches and dinners, but you just added some different seasonings and it turned it into like a breakfast meal. So with the meats that you get, you're going to try to make sure that they are grass-fed and organic. That's going to be the main thing. I pretty much buy everything from Kroger or Sprouts. So with the meats, I started out pretty much just only sticking to ground turkey and tuna. With the ground turkey, I would just put some seasonings in it that were AIP approved to kind of either give it like just a normal savory flavor or to make it taste like taco meat. I would kind of put some taco seasoning in there. Now you can make sweet potato chips on your own. There are sweet potato chips that I buy that literally are just like only sweet potato and coconut oil. I would mix that with the Swiss chard or spinach, and then I would have some black olives and avocado with that, and that would be my taco salad. Another option would be to use the ground turkey with the seasonings and put it together in a ball to make your turkey balls or turkey meatballs, and have that with cooked cabbage or your cooked greens. That was a really good recipe and really easy to prep as well. So we actually did this one today. This is a longtime favorite of mine, where you take squash, zucchini, cauliflower, you chop it all up and you with some coconut oil or avocado oil, you just bake it in the oven. And then Quintaris cooked up the ground turkey, and what he did was portion out the turkey for my lunches and mixed it in together with the vegetables. So as far as snacks, I would make sure that I have 2, maximum 3 servings of fruit a day. Plantain chips are actually a really, really good snack for AIP, and I don't know why I stopped eating plantain chips. I think Kroger and Sprouts is a really good place to go to buy bulk items. Like I used to buy plantain chips from the bulk section of Sprouts and Kroger. I don't know why I stopped. Like I said, in the beginning, I would do the same thing a lot, and I was fine eating the same thing for a while, but after a couple months, I was like, okay, I need to switch it up. So an amazing, amazing snack for AIP is the Epic Bison Bar. I think where AIP gets really expensive is when you start buying like tiger nut flour and arrowroot powder or arrowroot starch, and you start like baking stuff. Like with the sweets, that's something that they say just to have like coconut or dark chocolate, like dark chocolate and coconut oil and fruit, and that's kind of your sweets. Also gelatin, but like I said, I'm not a cook. Quint is the cook in the family, so I don't really do a lot of that. Maybe in the future I definitely like to, but I'm not trying to have a lot of sweets. Like I'm not trying to incorporate or eat a lot of sugars in my meal right now since I'm still losing weight. All right guys, that's everything for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, I'm going to post all the links that I can to either the information or infographics or the recipes and the descriptions of what I said down below. This was a really easy way for me to start meal prepping and introduce myself to the autoimmune paleo protocol. My endocrinologist okayed it, and both my endocrinologist and I are blown away by how much it has helped. So I've been doing this for about 2 years next month, and I just cannot tell you how much of a difference it has made. And I can tell as soon as I slip up, like there are times where there'll be food at work, or it'll be someone's birthday and they want to go out for lunch, you know, at work. I think I keep blaming work. And I'll be like, oh, this will be fine. I'll just have some of this, and it'll be one little bit, and I feel horrible. So Quintaris and I are kind of wanting to film some cooking videos. So if you'd like to see some meal prepping videos or some autoimmune paleo cooking videos, one time Quintaris actually made this autoimmune paleo banana bread, which like I never had banana bread before I ate AIP. I always thought that banana bread like just didn't seem appealing to me. But when he made this, I was like, this is amazing. This has to be like better than the normal stuff, right? And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me down below or on Instagram. And wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a beautiful day. Bye.